Welcome back to another Sunday Desk Letters video. Today, I am finally talking to you about my pocket notebook. I have been waiting for it to be a bit more full, and I wanted to use it more before I sit down and make this video about how I'm using it, how is my new key, and all of that stuff, because I actually mentioned that my key wasn't working in one of the videos. It's like the first pocket notebook video that I made, and I obviously changed the key after that. So I have a new key and I think it's working a lot better now. And I just kind of wanted to show that to you and kind of talk about what my pocket notebook is, because this actually is a lifesaver, and since I actually figured the key out too, everything just makes a lot more sense. So let's get to it. Okay, so it looks like one notebook, but I actually have two notebooks inside. I'm obviously going to explain both of them, but I'm using one of them a lot more. I got this cover from a local stationery shop, and I think the brand is local as well. So yeah, I think it's just nice to have something like that, and it definitely looks a bit more aged now. Like you can kind of see the lines and stuff, but I don't really mind, so that's fine. And then this actually used to be my AirPods case's charm. Like you could actually put this or hang this somewhere, but it fell out one day when I was out, and I didn't want to, well, I couldn't put it back, so I thought I could just have it here so I don't lose it. And yeah, it's been here ever since. I don't plan on changing it. I think it looks cute. I might even add another charm here that I bought for my notebooks. But yeah, this is basically how the notebook looks. And inside I'm using a very simple notebook, so that it's easier for me to find, even though it wasn't really easy for a while. But I'm using Moleskine, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Moleskine notebooks. They're the pocket notebooks. They come in a pack of 3. I'm actually going to show a pack so you can understand what I'm talking about. Okay, I bought them a while ago because I couldn't find stock for a very long time, and once I found the stock, I ordered like 4 packs of this. But these are just these little notebooks that come in a pack of 3. So yeah, they are very simple books. They're just like black square journals. I think they have like 64 squared pages. Yeah, they're really like simple notebooks, but unfortunately I can't really find a notebook like this other than Moleskine. I don't know what it is, but well, to be honest, I can't find square notebooks in general. Most of the stationery stores that sell Moleskine as well, they don't have square journals, so I have to get them online. But yeah, they are a bit expensive. Like I probably could find cheaper ones, but considering that I'm already struggling with trying to find this size notebooks with a square grid, I will just keep buying these. And since I bought like 4 packs, and I have one from this pack too, I have plenty. Like I'm set for a few years, I think, depending on how fast I go through them. But yeah, that's what it is. Okay, with that being said, I'm just going to explain my journals now. Like I mentioned, these are my pocket journals, so I just take like random notes. And when I say random, I mean I have a key, so they're not very random, but they're not very aesthetically pleasing either. Like with my Hobonichi cousin and my Hobonichi weeks, I'm more structured, I guess. I have a structure, I know what I'm doing. I try to keep my handwriting a bit more on the neater side. Sometimes I decorate. I think before a layout, basically. With this notebook, there's no thinking. I literally just brain dump about a certain topic that I have in my mind. I hope that makes sense. You will understand more once I kind of show you the notebooks. But like I mentioned, I have 2 notebooks. One of them is for my personal notes, which is this one, and I have some stickers here because this started as just like one notebook without the cover, and I wanted the cover to look cute. So this was something that I did, but then I bought the cover, so it's not very important anymore, but I still love how this looks. Then here is my personal key, or this was my personal key, and then I changed it to be something that's more me, I guess. But before I kind of explain the key, I want to explain the notebooks. So this notebook is for personal brain dumps. It could be about something that I am interested in those days, something that I'm thinking. Maybe I am trying to figure out a new layout for a notebook. Maybe I'm trying to come up with like a schedule or something. This is where it goes. With the second notebook, my content creation related notes go here. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, this is not something that I use very often, because what I realized in the past couple of weeks is when it comes to content creating, I like to plan them digitally. I can't really plan digitally normally, like I don't like planning my day, my week, whatever, on a screen, but I do use Google Calendar though to like set everything up. I have like a little timetable. But when it comes to content planning, I do everything digitally. I do my video calendar digitally. I brainstorm about videos. Usually they're like on some sort of doc on my computer. Sometimes I do it in Notion. Or if I'm like scripting for a video, that's also digital. So I don't really use this notebook, but it is here just in case if I feel like I need to write something down, because sometimes I don't want to type and I just want to sit with my notebook and journal. So this is here, but just know that I'm not using this as much as this one. Okay, now that I've explained the notebooks, we can actually talk about the key. I'm going to show you the first key of this notebook and kind of talk about how it worked and why I decided to change it really quick. Okay, so this is the original key. When I was starting this notebook, I thought that I would be done in a couple of months. That was not the case because I did not write in this journal at all, which is fine. So basically this started as a mixed journal. So when I first started it, this notebook didn't exist. I only had one notebook. So I had a red dot for content creation. I had a blue one for special interests, a yellow one for personal, a green dot for planning and work related stuff, and then I had a orange one for commonplace. And it's been over a year. I started this in October 2024. And it's not done because like I said, it wasn't working. But now that it's working for a couple of months, I think I'm like more on track with this now. So I have a little note here that kind of sets the intention of this notebook, because I knew that if I didn't write this somewhere, my brain would think that this book also needs to be perfect. So I just put like a little note saying this notebook is for loose thoughts and unpolished ideas, like bits and pieces that need a quick place to land. I like things don't have to be perfect, little sketches, little moments, basically just a little paragraph about it. And then I started putting things down, which went pretty well for a couple of days, and then I stopped because again it wasn't really working. Like, I still remember taking these notes, which is good, but I should have done it in a better way, I think. Everything seems to be working here now. You can see that I used both here. I don't mind it. I probably will still use 2 tags if I need to. But yeah. Then I obviously like journaled and journaled and journaled. This is still one of my favorite pages. I reference back quite a lot. Okay, here is a pocket notebook reflection. This is where I realized that it's not working anymore and I needed to change a few things. And I did a little reflections here. So I put down what worked, what didn't work, where to go from here, and all of that stuff. This was basically the script of my first pocket notebook video. So yeah, that's there. And then I kind of journaled about my Hobonichi layouts. Now, here's where things get interesting because I did not show this in the last video. Starting from here, these are all new, and I think I started this in December. So it's been about 2-ish months. Okay, so I have been thinking about changing the key, so that's kind of how I start, and I kind of put down what kind of keys I need after I kind of figured out what I wanted, and then I kind of put down a few things that is for that category. For example, we have systems and layouts, so planner setups go here, weekly layouts go here, notebook structures, any notebook or layout inspirations that I have, or if I'm kind of seeing a notebook is not working properly, I can just go ahead and do what worked and what didn't work. When I was first putting this down, the only thing that I was thinking about the notebooks. However, as it kind of evolved a little bit more and as I get more comfortable with the key, this now also includes things like routines, or like systems that I want to include in my life, not just about the notebook systems. I hope that makes sense, but that's kind of where it evolved to. So basically, if I'm writing about a system that I want to try for my life or for my notebooks, it goes here. 2, creative universes. I love cozy games, so this tag is kind of for that. So for example, I have Animal Crossing aesthetics and inspo. Anything that I want to do with my Forever Island goes into this tag, although I have not been journaling because I have not been playing Animal Crossing that much, but since the updates like a week ago, I'm obsessed, so I will probably journal more about this. I keep saying journal, but you know what I mean. I write in this notebook. I wouldn't really say that I'm journaling. Sims builds or households or story ideas, they go here too. World building sparks for any game, honestly. If I figure out a new game that is kind of similar to these worlds, I kind of go ahead and put some notes. And then world building sparks, so anything that includes, you know, some type of world building, I could still take notes here. And then any game world idea is basically the same thing. So yeah, just I love being able to do this, so it's just, this will eventually I think become a gaming tag, but for now I'm just kind of taking notes on the worlds that I'm working on, I guess. 3 is for collections and recommendations. I love this tag, so any collection that I'm doing or any recommendation that I got is in this tag. For example, my TBR lists, maybe a new playlist idea with some songs, or a song that I liked could go here as well, maybe some lyrics, because in my mind those are also collections. A movie, or a book, or a song, or anything that someone recommended to me. Products I want to check or buy. Initially I thought maybe I could kind of put it here and then like circle back to that idea and write down, oh, like this had this in it, so I don't really want to buy it, but also like this was good, so I like that, so maybe I need to look into more products with that in it. I'm thinking about skincare products. I don't know why that popped up, but that's what I was thinking. Little watch later lists or quotes and song lyrics, like I mentioned. That's for like collection tag. And then 4 is for commonplace seeds. So these are some parts of my thoughts that I would eventually want to move to my Hobonichi cousin to actually sit down and journal about. For example, ideas that I noticed about something that's happening in my life, or things that I want to think about later, small realizations about my life, or about a topic that I was into, loose thoughts that could become commonplace items. So anything that I'm like, oh, I wonder how this works, or oh, I wonder what would happen if I did this, or anything, they go into this tag, and then eventually when I think more about it, I move it to my Hobonichi cousin. I do have an example of this, so I'm going to show it to you. I put some examples here because I did not trust myself. I could just put it here, and then after a couple of weeks or days, I can go back and be like, oh, I wrote this here. Let's move it to my Hobonichi cousin. Because sometimes after my dailies, I don't really know what to do in my Hobonichi cousin. So these are like good things that I can kind of pull out. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. A camp activity, or now that I'm actually doing lessons, something that I want to do in my lessons, but I want to do some research first. That's always a good tag. Yeah, and like little questions that I have about my life. For example, I actually do want to journal about these at some point. For example, why do I get more done with a cup of tea or a coffee? Yeah, these are just like some of the thoughts that I have. Basically, loose thoughts. And lastly, I have hobbies and skills. So literally anything that counts as a hobby or a skill, it goes here. I have a lot of hobbies. So this could be about a hobby that I already have. Maybe I learned something new about that hobby. It goes into this tag. Maybe a new skill or a new hobby that I want to try and see what I'm doing, it goes here. If I have any tips for a specific skill or a hobby that I have, it goes here. Baking recipes goes here as well. Like if I see a baking recipe and I just want to put it down, it goes here. It also could count as a collection, but usually it's hobbies and skills. Yeah, that's basically it. I just looked to see if I missed anything, but not really. And I put my key here. So this is a new key. I have red for creative universes, blue for systems and layouts, yellow, collections and recommendations, green for commonplace seeds, and orange for hobbies and skills. Now, I will show you the first key, and you can see how different this looks. Like, this was just a key. This is a very general key. Like, people usually use it this way, but this is not fit for me because I'm not sure how to divide special interests and personal. I don't really take personal notes here, not much. Or planning and work, it was fine at first, but then it kind of, I don't know, I felt like this was, one, it was not enough, but two, they all kind of looked similar. So the new system looks a lot more detailed and clear to me. This might not be clear to you, which is completely fine. So I feel like in these types of videos, obviously you can kind of look at people's keys to get inspiration, but I think it's very important to figure out a key that works for you, because it's probably not going to work for you. Like, this key is very specific to the things that I like to take notes on. For example, I think this is very specific. Maybe you don't even play games, so this being here would not make sense to you. But maybe you have another thing that you do as like a hobby, and if you feel like it does need like a specific place, give it that specific place. Or maybe you don't need a space to these type of questions or anything like this, but you actually collect things from like articles you read and stuff. you could change the commonplace to that so it's actually a commonplace notebook for you. Just, it's very important to test a key, and if it's not working, just change it, make it your own. I feel like once you crack the code, everything just works so much better. So here's what I did in the last month and a half in this notebook. Okay, so the first thing that I actually journaled about was a commonplace seeds related thing, which I never commonplaced in this journal at all before this, but I put down how to fix your attention span. This was a video that I saw. I remember I was out and I watched a video. It was like 12 minutes long, and I watched that video and I was like, this is what I've been thinking, and I think I want to do more research about it. So I kind of put this here. Did I do the research? No, but this is here, and it reminds me that I can probably make the research and write about this in my journal, especially on days where I feel like I don't have anything to write about for my Bonichi cousin. The next thing that I did is my Hobonichi Weeks layout. So obviously systems and layouts. And I just kind of wrote about the layout, literally. It's not very neat, but it's there. Very chaotic, but you can see that I went on and on about it. Then I put down the Friends quotes for my Hobonichi cousin. For each month, I want to have a Friends quote this year. Last year I did Disney quotes, but this year I thought Friends could be the theme. So here we are. I have all of it figured out, starting from the cover, all of the months, until December. So I had them ready, and it's here. And I tagged it as systems and layouts because this was specifically for my Hobonichi cousin. But if I was just collecting quotes, I would probably put it in collections. I have my physical TBR for collections, obviously. I put down like 15 books that I want to read from my physical TBR this year. And then I have a personal curriculum idea here. This could also be, now that I'm thinking about it, about the commonplace seeds, but I didn't have a lot of ideas about personal curriculum, so I kind of put this here because technically it was about a system that I want to include in my life. So it's here because I'm not technically journaling about personal curriculum. I'm just thinking about having this as a system in my life. I hope that makes sense. Like if I was actually explaining what a personal curriculum is, I would put this as a commonplace seed, but this is not what I'm doing here. I'm just saying that I want to try this in my life and see what happens. So I hope that makes sense. It makes sense to me. Again, it might not make sense to you, but I'm doing my best to explain here. Evening routine, so I was kind of rambling about how I can't seem to figure out an evening routine that I really like, or feel good while doing. I think I am feeling a lot better with my morning routines now. Even for like the busy mornings, I do have some sort of routine, but with evening routines, it's not happening. So I kind of rambled about that, and yeah. 2026 bucket list draft. I have this here, and it is tagged as systems and layouts, mainly because this is not really a collection. I know people would also put this as a collection, which is fine, but I don't know. This is something that when I think of collections, I think more of a collection. Does that make sense? Like, I think about photos, I think about books, I think about music, movies, those kind of things. So this is technically not really a collection. This is about my life, so it kind of is a system and a layout. I don't know. That's just how my brain works. I have my 2026 Hobonichi cousin key, obviously tagged as a systems and layouts. And other systems and layouts here, and this is for the inheritance games annotation key. Sometimes when I can't figure out how I want to annotate a book, or if I can't really figure out a key, this is usually what I do. I just write it down, so it's easier for me to see how many tags I need and, you know, all that stuff. So yeah, that's here. And then I rambled about Animal Crossing 3.0 update, so this was last week. I just put down my thoughts about the update a little bit, and then I just I watched a few videos. So after watching those, I was like, oh, okay, like, here's some of the new things that I'm excited about. Legos. I journaled about them because I got a new Lego set that I made last week. So I wanted to have a little note about it. This was before I actually started doing it. It was like the day that I got the Lego, I think. But I journaled about before doing the Lego. Back filling my journals, I kind of rambled on about how it's stressing me and some tips and tricks that could help me. So that's there. And then we have a Lego part 2. This was after I did the Lego, and I kind of talked about how I felt and how I want to do this more and all that stuff. You can see that it's pretty messy. But yeah, I have like smudges. My handwriting is not very neat, but that's okay. Oh, this is fun. Over here, I have analog living thoughts. And in my Hobonichi Cousin, I also have a thing like this. Technically, it did go into my Hobonichi Cousin first, and then I kind of put this here. But in my Hobonichi Cousin, it wasn't really a research. I just said that, oh, I have been seeing a lot of videos and I have been thinking about it, and here are my thoughts. In this one, I'm saying, okay, I know that I have a lot of thoughts about this topic, and like videos keep popping up, and I want to do more research about it. So I'm kind of putting this here and tagging it as a commonplace seed, because this is not just about my feelings. This is like a general topic that I want to research, so that's why. And I have, okay, here's a collection. A list of TV shows and movies that I want to watch. So my watch list in different platforms, they're a mess. It's very, I don't know. If I see something I like, I just edit there and then it just stays there for a while. And I realized that even though I know that I have these movies, I never actually pick one of those movies or a TV show when I feel like I need to watch something. I just pick a random one. So I was like, I'm going to put this down here so I can kind of force myself to watch these. So I put like 5 TV shows from my watch list. Some of them I started already. For example, Only Murders in the Building. I only have the last season left, but I keep forgetting that it exists, unfortunately. So I put it here. And then I started this, but I think I'm in the second season of Abbott Elementary, so I want to finish that. I watched 1 episode of Ransom Canyon, and apparently there's a new season coming. I don't remember much, so we're going to see if I like it. I rewatch and then maybe finish the season if I like it. And I found 2 like small, well, this is very country actually, but I found 2 more that I want to watch in my wish list, so I could have put those 5 here so that I can watch them first. Then I put down some movies. This year I want to watch more like classic rom-coms. So I have them. I've never seen Enchanted. This is a Disney movie. Well, I lied. I think I saw it like when I was very young and I don't remember much. So I want to watch it again. And then I have How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Never watched it. Sleepless in Seattle. Again, never watched it. Ramen Holiday and When Harry Met Sally. I think I watched When Harry Met Sally, but again, I don't remember, so we'll see. And then I was like, while I'm doing this, I'm going to put like 5 K-dramas that I want to watch because I have to force myself to watch K-dramas. So we have them here. I have Dynamite Kiss. This is a new one, I think, and people seem like they're enjoying that, so we'll see. Love Struck in the City. I'm not sure if this is a new one. I recently added this to my watch list, but I don't know if it's new. And then I have Can This Love Be Translated? This is a new one, I think. It just like released or something. And I added to my watch list a while ago. Crash Course in Romance. This is not new, but I keep meaning to watch this, but then I get distracted by other K-dramas, so I put it here. And lastly, I put Beauty Inside. I haven't watched it, but I feel like I would enjoy this, so here we have them. This is like a little collection of a TV show and movie list that I made. Last night, I did this page. A page and a half, or maybe a little over a page, but yeah. I kind of wrote down about my thoughts about my Forever Island in Animal Crossing. I saw a video, and it was like an island tour, and the island was like so simple, and everything was like, I don't know, it didn't have any like crazy custom codes. It was a chill and playable island. Like, I can't express how much that's important to me, because if I'm making a Forever Island, I want to be able to play the game like how it's designed. So I kind of wrote about that, some of my ideas that I have for certain areas, like I kind of wrote about the paths, like if I want to use a custom code or not, a backwards waterfall, I put that here, a cute entrance for the museum, yeah, those kind of things. Like a little marketplace. I didn't give any detail, but I put the initial ideas here, which is good. I have less than half of the notebook to go through, and considering that I'm actually writing in this notebook now, this will go very quick, I'm assuming, but I will keep you updated. I want to mention about this one too, even though I didn't use it that much. This is my content creation pocket notebook. And these tags still work, so I'm going to keep it like this. But I, again, have a little paragraph for this notebook too. And then I just kind of have this very messy weekly schedule, or trying to make a schedule, I would say. Yeah, you can see that I use a different pen here, because this pen, I was out of ink. This is my pen that I use for everything, literally. But I was out of the ink, so, and I was outside. So I kind of used this pen that I usually do my book annotations with. And yeah, this is how it looks now. And here you can kind of see that I put the title, but I never really wrote about it. It's fine. I was out, and as I was starting to write this, I think I was meeting with a friend. My friend came over, so I didn't really have time to finish the thoughts, which is fine. I know what I was writing about, so I can always come back and write about this, but yeah, and even if I don't, that's okay. I could cross this out and start again. This is why this notebook is here. I don't care if it looks messy. But yeah, I only use like maybe 5 pages, so it's not very used, but I'm doing my best to use it. But like I said, most of my content creation planning, they happen in a digital platform, so yeah, I don't really need this, but just in case, because sometimes I don't have my iPad or my laptop with me, so I have to like write it down. So yeah, this is for those moments. Alright, this was my pocket notebook. I hope you enjoyed this. I don't honestly know what I rambled about. I'm a bit tired, so I'm sorry if this didn't make sense. Usually when I'm filming videos, I do feel like I'm not making sense, but once I'm editing the video, I'm like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Like, you know, I don't know. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. If you use a notebook like, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. If you use a notebook like this, I would love to know if your key is similar to mine. Do you use a different key? Do you like to keep it messy? Everything. I would love to know. because this is still an experiment for me. We'll see how it goes. It seems to be working, but you can never be sure with these types of notebooks. And I might need to adapt again, but for now it seems to be working, so I think we're fine. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. I'm going to see you very soon with another video. Thank you for being here, and enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.